Look around you. People are breathing, walking, talking, laughing, but most of them are already dead. Not physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. They wake up tired. They eat without hunger. They speak without meaning. They live without awareness. And then one day their heart stops. Doctors say they died at 70 or 80 or 85. But the truth is far darker. Most people die decades earlier. A man who hated his job for 30 years. A woman who lived in fear of opinions. A soul that abandoned curiosity at 25. A mind trapped in regret, stress, comparison, and craving. In Buddhism, this is called living in ignorance, moving through life asleep. The Buddha never said death begins at the grave. He taught that death begins the moment awareness ends. And that's why most people never reach their full lifespan. Not because of fate, but because of silent daily mistakes that slowly drain life itself. In this video, I will reveal why most people die before 85, the deadly habits nobody warns you about, and the Buddhist truths that protect longevity, clarity, and peace. If even one of these mistakes sounds familiar, this video could change how long and how deeply you live. So before we begin, like this video to support content that awakens minds, subscribe if you seek wisdom beyond noise, and watch until the end, because the final truth is the one that saves years of life. 1. Living in constant stress, the invisible poison. Stress is not just a feeling. It is not just being busy. It is not just pressure. Stress is slow suicide, socially accepted, medically ignored, and proudly worn like a badge of honor. Most people don't even realize when it begins. It creeps in silently. A tight jaw while driving, a racing mind before sleep, a heart that beats too fast for no reason, a body that is present but never relaxed. People say, "This is life." They normalize exhaustion. They normalize anxiety. They normalize surviving instead of living. Deadlines, bills, expectations, relationship tension, fear of falling behind, fear of not being enough. And the most dangerous lie ever told is this: everyone lives like this. Buddhism exposes a brutal truth. Most people don't want to hear. Suffering does not come from life itself. It comes from attachment to outcomes, the constant need to control, to prove, to secure, to accumulate, to be validated. When desire becomes uncontrollable, stress becomes permanent. And when stress becomes permanent, the body begins to decay from the inside. Chronic stress inflames the heart. It tightens blood vessels. It weakens immunity so the body cannot repair itself. Cells age faster. Hormones stay imbalanced. Sleep becomes shallow. Healing slows down. You may still be walking, talking, earning, smiling, but internally, your body is fighting a war every single day. That is why two people of the same age can look decades apart. One is calm, the other is constantly tense. A calm body repairs itself. A stressed body never gets the chance. Look at people who suddenly collapse in their 50 seconds or 60 seconds. Doctors call it genetics, fate, bad luck. But nobody talks about the 30 years of unresolved pressure, swallowed anger, constant worry, and mental noise that quietly carved that ending. In Buddhism, monks are not long-lived because they escape life. They face it without resistance. They don't fight reality. They don't carry tomorrow's problems into today. They don't attach their worth to outcomes. When hunger comes, they eat. When tired, they rest. When thoughts arise, they observe, not obey. Compare that to modern life. People wake up already anxious. They check their phones before checking their breath. Their minds race faster than their bodies can follow. Even during rest, their thoughts are working overtime. Even during joy, fear is lurking. What if this doesn't last? This constant inner pressure is what kills people early, not accidents, not age, not destiny. Ask yourself honestly, how many of the things stressing you today will matter in 5 years? How many sleepless nights were wasted on problems that solved themselves? How many years has your body been begging you to slow down, but you called it weakness and kept pushing? Stress does not announce when it is killing you. It whispers, it tightens, it drains, and one day, the body simply says, enough. The first step toward longevity is not diet, not exercise, not medicine. It is ending the war inside your own mind. When resistance ends, stress loosens. When stress loosens, life extends. 2. Eating without awareness. Most people don't eat to nourish life. They eat to escape themselves. Food has become anesthesia. Stress at work? Eat. Lonely at night? Eat. Bored, anxious, empty, restless? Eat. Not because the body is hungry, but because the mind is uncomfortable being alone with itself. This is why people eat while standing, while driving, while scrolling, while arguing, while watching screens flash meaningless images. The mouth moves, but awareness is absent. The body receives calories but not care. In Buddhism, this is called unmindful consumption, when the senses are overstimulated and the mind is elsewhere. The Buddha warned that when eating loses awareness, the body pays the price quietly. Over time, fast food, ultra-processed meals, late-night eating driven by emotion, not hunger, sugar to numb sadness, caffeine to override exhaustion, heavy meals swallowed without gratitude, without pause, without presence. This isn't indulgence, it's disconnection. And the body remembers everything. When eating becomes unconscious, digestion weakens, the stomach struggles, the liver works overtime, inflammation rises, energy crashes, immunity fades. The body spends its days cleaning up damage instead of repairing itself. People say, I eat fine, but they eat fast. They eat distracted. They eat after the body already said, enough. And then they wonder why they feel heavy, tired, bloated, foggy, why energy disappears even when calories increase. Look closely at modern meals. A person sits with food in front of them, but their eyes are on a screen. Their mind is in tomorrow's worries. Their breath is shallow. Their nervous system is tense. The body is in survival mode. In that state, even healthy food turns into burden. Contrast this with monks. Monks eat slowly, simply, repetitively, without entertainment, without excess. Each bite is deliberate. Each movement is calm. Each meal is received, not consumed aggressively. Not because food is sinful, not because pleasure is forbidden, but because awareness transforms food into medicine. When the mind is present, digestion improves, hormones balance, the body knows when to stop. Gratitude activates calm. Calm allows healing. Healing allows longevity. This is why many monks live long with minimal food, while others eat constantly and still feel starved. Because the body does not measure nourishment by quantity, it measures it by presence. Ask yourself honestly, when was the last time you ate without distraction? When was the last time you stopped because your body was satisfied, not because the plate was empty? When was the last time you felt gratitude before the first bite? Most people don't realize this, but longevity begins in the mouth. Every bite either supports life or slowly exhausts it. The way you eat is the way you live. Rushed, unaware, emotionally driven. Change that, and the body begins to forgive years of damage. 3. Suppressing emotions instead of releasing them. Uncried tears do not disappear. They sink. They settle into the chest, the throat, the stomach. They harden into tension, fatigue, unexplained pain. And years later, doctors give it a name, but the body knew the truth long before. Unspoken pain does not fade with time. It tightens. It waits. It reshapes the nervous system. Unforgiven anger does not stay emotional. It becomes physical. This is the part of life no one warns you about. Most people are taught from childhood to suppress. Be strong. Don't cry. Move on. Forget it. Be positive. So they learn to swallow grief instead of releasing it. They learn to smile while breaking inside. They learn to function, not to heal. In Buddhism, this is a profound misunderstanding. The Buddha never taught emotional suppression. He taught non-attachment, a completely different path. Non-attachment means feeling fully without clinging, letting emotions arise, letting them pass, not locking them inside the body like prisoners. But modern humans do the opposite. They bury sadness under productivity. They bury anger under politeness. They bury heartbreak under distraction. They bury fear under control. And the body becomes the graveyard. Look around you. People with constant neck pain, tight chests, clenched jaws, shallow breathing, chronic fatigue with no clear cause. These are not random. These are emotions that never found a voice. Most people smile in public and bleed in private. They post happiness. They perform strength. They say, "I'm fine." But at night, their bodies shake with thoughts they never processed. Their hearts carry conversations that never happened. Their minds replay moments that were never resolved. The body listens even when the mouth stays silent. This is why some people age faster than time itself. Wrinkles don't just come from years, they come from unreleased weight. Buddhism teaches that clinging is the root of suffering. Clinging to anger, clinging to regret, clinging to what should have been said, done, or changed. Peaceful minds age slowly because nothing is trapped inside them. Burdened hearts collapse early because they are carrying entire lifetimes of silence. Think of the person who never cried after losing someone, the one who stayed strong through betrayal, the one who swallowed rage to keep peace. Years later, their body pays the price. The Buddha's path is not numbness. It is honest awareness. To feel sadness when sadness arises. To feel anger without becoming anger. To let tears flow without shame. To breathe through pain instead of imprisoning it. Because emotions are like waves. If you let them pass, they cleanse. If you block them, they drown you. Ask yourself, what emotions are you still carrying from years ago? What words are still trapped in your chest? What anger has never been released, only buried? Healing does not begin when life becomes easier. It begins when you stop lying to your own body. Release is not weakness. It is survival. And survival is the foundation of longevity. 4. Living for others' expectations. Most people don't realize it, but one of the fastest ways to die before your time is to live for someone else. To live in the shadow of expectation. To wear masks every single day. From childhood, we are trained to seek approval. Good grades, a prestigious school, the perfect career, a respectable spouse, friends who admire us, likes, comments, praise. Validation becomes the air we breathe, and slowly, imperceptibly, it begins to suffocate life itself. A life lived for approval is a life lived in fear. Fear of rejection, fear of judgment, fear of not being enough, fear that someone will see the real you and turn away. Fear shrinks the nervous system. It tightens muscles. It constricts blood vessels. It slows the heart. Over decades, this fear becomes silent damage, invisible but fatal. Look around you. The man who spends decades climbing a career ladder he doesn't want, just to impress his parents. The woman who stays in a relationship she hates because society says she shouldn't leave. The teenager who hides their passions because peers will mock them. The office worker who grins at a toxic boss, swallowing anger that eats away at their chest, their sleep, their life. All of them are dying a little every day. Not from accidents, not from fate, but from the slow erosion of self, from living a life that isn't theirs. Buddhism exposes this quietly, yet ruthlessly. The Buddha himself was born into the highest royalty, a palace of unimaginable wealth, power, and expectation. A life that most would kill to inherit. But he walked away, not out of rebellion, out of awareness. He realized that freedom matters more than image, more than approval, more than the applause of the world. The palace could offer comfort, admiration, security, but it could not offer truth. And truth is what allows a human being to live fully and live long. Every human body carries the cost of pretending. A heart weighed down by expectations pumps harder, ages faster. A nervous system on constant alert, trying to perform, to please, to comply, becomes brittle. The immune system falters. Sleep shatters. Organs fatigue. Energy vanishes before middle age. The body becomes a battlefield for all the shoulds imposed by other people, while the person's soul quietly withers. Ask yourself, How many times today did you say yes when you meant no? How many times did you hide a thought, swallow a feeling, or perform a role for someone else's comfort? How many hours of life have been sacrificed for applause, approval, or admiration? The truth is, brutal longevity does not belong to those admired. It belongs to those aligned, those who honor their own voice, their own purpose, their own body and mind. Freedom is medicine. Freedom is healing. Freedom lengthens life because it dissolves fear, stress, and hidden tension. The longest living people in the world aren't the richest. They aren't the most famous. They are the ones who lived for themselves, who pursued what felt true, who refused to shrink for anyone else. It's not selfish, it's survival. And it is the reason the Buddha chose the forest over the throne, the unknown over acclaim, life over approval. When you live for yourself, your body relaxes, your heart opens, your mind clears, your energy flows, your organs thrive, your immune system strengthens. When you live for others, even quietly, even politely, your body begins to betray you, slowly, surely, permanently. Ask yourself today, whose life are you really living? Because the answer may determine not just how fully you live, but how long. 5. Lack of stillness, a mind that never rests. The mind was never meant to move this fast. The body was never meant to chase this much noise. But today, most people live in a perpetual storm, and their body silently pays the price. A restless mind burns the body. It does not scream. It does not knock. It whispers. It nags. It hums at night. It keeps the heart racing. It keeps the chest tight. It keeps the organs on alert. It poisons sleep, creativity, and vitality. Look around you. Notifications ping. Screens glow. Meetings overlap. Tasks pile. Music, podcasts, videos, messages all at once, all day, all night. People fill silence with sound, reflection with distraction, stillness with panic. Even walking, they check their phones. Eating, they scroll. Driving, they think about work. They never arrive anywhere. They never arrive inside themselves. And over time, this mind creates silent decay. The body ages faster than time itself. Cortisol stays elevated. The nervous system never recovers. The heart beats under pressure long after the danger has passed. The digestive system, the immune system, the hormones all silently collapse under relentless internal stress. Chronic diseases rise. Anxiety becomes default. Depression becomes invisible armor. Energy fades. Sleep shatters. Vitality disappears. You may still function. You may still work, laugh, interact, but inside, you are slowly burning out. Meditation is often misunderstood as a luxury, a spiritual indulgence. But in truth, it is biological maintenance. It is not optional. It is as essential as air, water, and food. When a monk sits in silence, it is not to escape reality. It is not to impress or perform. It is to cool the brain, restore the nervous system, and repair the damage that constant noise creates. Every human mind carries hidden trauma, unprocessed stress, unspoken frustration. The body absorbs all of it silently. A minute of stillness is not time wasted, it is life reclaimed. Even 5 minutes of conscious breathing can reverse cellular inflammation triggered by hours of stress. Even 10 minutes of mindful awareness can reset the nervous system, lower blood pressure, and allow the body to repair itself. Contrast that with the average modern human. They lie in bed scrolling social media. The mind never rests. Every image, every comment, every message triggers dopamine, fear, desire, comparison. The nervous system never shuts off. Sleep comes, if at all, but it is shallow, restless, and unhealing. The body wakes tired, though it slept 8 hours. Vitality has been eroded quietly, invisibly, persistently. Buddhism teaches that the mind is a garden. Noise is weeds. Stillness is sunlight and water. If you never allow the mind to rest, the weeds overtake the soil. Nothing good grows. Life is choked. Longevity becomes impossible. Ask yourself, when was the last time you sat in silence without distraction? When did your mind last stop racing even for 5 minutes? When did you last breathe fully, without thinking about what comes next, what you need to do, or what someone else expects of you? Every day you deny stillness, the body pays. Organs work harder, hormones stay imbalanced, cells age faster. Every unprocessed thought, fear, and tension deposits in muscles, blood vessels, and tissues, a silent tax you will pay in years lost. Stillness repairs what noise destroys. It is not optional. It is survival. The Buddha sat under the Bodhi tree for weeks in silence. The world called it extreme, but in those quiet hours, he repaired the mind, healed the body, and unlocked life itself. If you cannot stop the world for an hour, at least stop your mind for 5 minutes. Because your longevity, your health, and your freedom from silent decay depend on it. Noise kills quietly. Stillness heals deliberately. And the choice is yours. 6. Holding on to the past. Regret ages people faster than time itself. It doesn't just linger in the mind. It settles into the body. It tightens muscles, constricts blood vessels, disrupts sleep, and fuels silent inflammation. It is the unseen thief of years, a weight nobody warns you about, but one everyone carries. Most people live like ghosts of their own past. They replay scenes endlessly in their heads. A word they said, a mistake they made, a person they hurt, or someone who hurt them. If only, echoes in their minds. I should have, gnaws at their hearts. The mind loops like a broken record. The body responds as if the threat is present even decades later. Imagine this. A man in his 50 seconds lies awake at night, counting mistakes from his 20 seconds. Every misstep, every lost opportunity, every conversation he wishes he could take back haunts him. He is trapped in yesterday, replaying it, reliving it, feeling it again and again. His heart races, his stomach churns, sleep is fractured. Energy drains before the day even begins. Years are stolen silently, invisibly, without any external cause. A woman carries resentment for someone who betrayed her 10 years ago. Every time she recalls the event, her muscles tighten, her jaw clenches, her shoulders hunch, her body reacts as though the betrayal is happening right now, in real time. Meanwhile, life continues around her. Friends age, opportunities pass, moments vanish, but she is frozen, trapped in an emotional time loop. This is what Buddhism calls the illusion of permanence. Everything passes, nothing stays. Every thought, every feeling, every circumstance is transient. Impermanence is not a pessimistic idea, it is liberation. Yet most humans behave as if the past is permanent, as if yesterday defines every tomorrow. Holding on to the past is not just mental torture, it is biological damage. The stress of regret triggers cortisol. The chronic anger of resentment inflames the heart. The constant self-criticism weakens immunity, breaks sleep, and ages cells faster than any clock. People don't die in accidents, they die slowly, prematurely, carrying invisible cargo that could have been released decades ago. Ask yourself, how many hours, days, years have you replayed your mistakes in your mind? How often have you carried grudges, punishments, or shame that belong to someone else's story, not yours? How much life have you missed because your mind has been tethered to what already happened instead of what could happen? The Buddha's wisdom is mercilessly simple. Release. Let go. Breathe. Everything passes. Release does not mean forgetting. It does not mean excusing. It does not mean denying. It means stopping the mental recycling of pain. It means stopping your body from reliving trauma over and over. It means allowing life to flow into your lungs, your cells, your veins, unblocked, uninterrupted, uncorrupted by yesterday. Every time you clutch a memory like it's a lifeline, you are strangling your present. Every resentment you harbor is a hidden poison, invisible but deadly. Every if only is a tax on your lifespan. Release restores life. It clears the nervous system. It softens the heart. It revitalizes energy that has been trapped in old wounds. It gives your body the chance to heal, your mind the chance to rest, and your spirit the chance to thrive. Look around you. Some people age decades in their 40 seconds. Not because of disease, not because of genetics, but because they live in yesterday while ignoring today. Others thrive in their 70 seconds and 80 seconds because they learn to release. Your past is not your prison, but if you clutch it, it becomes one. Ask yourself now, what are you still holding on to? And if you let it go, could you finally begin to live? Because true longevity, real health, and a vibrant life begin not in avoiding the past, but in releasing it completely. 7. Forgetting that death exists. Ironically, the people who remember death live the longest, and the people who ignore it die quietly, slowly, and often long before their time. Most humans avoid the thought of death as if it is an enemy. They distract themselves with work, entertainment, noise, and social validation. They binge scroll through lives they envy. They chase pleasure, control, approval, and wealth, all while refusing to acknowledge the inevitable. And in this denial, they squander decades, wasting energy, emotions, and opportunities on meaningless routines. Look around you. A man works tirelessly for promotions he doesn't need. He eats fast food at his desk, barely sleeps, and never calls his family. One day, he suffers a heart attack at 55. Could he have avoided it? Maybe. He ignored every signal. He ignored every pause. He ignored mortality. He assumed time was endless. A woman postpones her dreams. She waits for the perfect moment to travel, to create, to speak her truth. Years pass. Her hair grays, her body stiffens, and she wonders where life went. Meanwhile, death doesn't wait. It does not negotiate. It does not check calendars. Buddhism teaches Maranasati, the awareness of mortality. But this is not meant to terrify you. It is not meant to create despair. It is meant to ignite urgency, to make every breath meaningful, to make every choice deliberate, to stop living as if tomorrow is guaranteed. When you remember death, your priorities shift. The trivial loses weight. The meaningless fades. The petty arguments, endless comparisons, and distractions that steal your energy suddenly seem absurd. Think of someone who truly embraces mortality. They wake up with purpose. They take risks they were too scared to take before. They speak what matters. They act with clarity. They rest when needed. They love openly. They do not waste moments trying to impress, argue, or accumulate. Death is a mirror. It shows the truth that life is finite, fragile, and precious. Ignoring it is like walking through a storm without shelter. You may survive, but you will suffer, slowly and invisibly, as the years slip away. Ask yourself, when was the last time you thought about your own death? Not as a morbid curiosity, not as a distant abstract concept, but as a living, breathing certainty today, tomorrow, maybe sooner than you expect. Most people live as if time is endless. They postpone dreams, delay apologies, ignore health, and waste energy on distractions. And then one day, the body fails, the mind regrets, and there is no rewind. Those who remember death, however, live with focused intensity. They breathe fully. They forgive. They pursue meaning relentlessly. They treat their body like a temple because they understand it will not last forever. They savor relationships. They act instead of wait. They live awake. And in doing so, they not only feel more alive, but they actually extend life itself. The irony is brutal. By accepting death, you gain life. By refusing to ignore the inevitable, your body functions better. Your mind relaxes from pointless fear and distraction. Your energy flows. Your health improves. Your decisions become sharper. Death remembered is a life reclaimed. It is urgency without panic. It is awareness without despair. It is clarity without distraction. And that is how some people live fully and last longer. If you never remember death, you will waste life. If you embrace it, even quietly, even for a few minutes a day, you will live awake. You will act intentionally. You will prioritize what matters. And your body, your mind, your heart will thank you with years added not just to your age, but to your life itself. Because longevity is not about avoiding death. It is about remembering it while still alive. As we conclude, the truth is brutal. Most people die long before 85. Not because of fate, not because of accidents, but because of the silent mistakes they repeat every day. Stress, mindless eating, suppressed emotions, living for approval, constant noise, clinging to the past, and forgetting death. These are invisible killers that steal years, energy, and peace. Buddhism teaches us that awareness, presence, and release are not luxuries, they are survival tools. When you release what no longer serves, live aligned with yourself, embrace stillness, and remember mortality, you awaken life inside your years. Your body, mind, and soul begin to repair, heal, and thrive. So ask yourself, are you living fully or just surviving? If this video opened your eyes, smash the like button to support this channel and subscribe for more life-changing wisdom that can extend not just your years, but the depth of your life itself.